Continuing CBS News 24/7 coverage into the investigation following the terror attack at a Hanukkah celebration in Australia at Bondi Beach. At least 15 dead, 2 police officers wounded, many more critically injured. It's leading authorities in Australia to call for even more stringent gun control laws than the nation already has. President Trump called this attack clearly for what it is, and that's against Jewish people. So let's talk live with Ted Deutch. He's CEO of the American Jewish Committee. Ted, first of all, my condolences to so many people who are hurt, devastated, and made afraid by this violence. Your organization tracks the state of anti-Semitism around the world. First, your reaction when you first heard the news.
Well, the first thing I thought of when I heard this awful news was, my God, not again. This is another attack against the Jewish community as a Jewish community. This is just in the past number of months, in May, in June, in October, and now in December, there have been murderous attacks against the Jewish community in places where we have gathered together to stand as a community, to pray as a community, and in Australia and Bondi Beach, to celebrate Hanukkah as a community. It's awful, and it touches every one of us. We're only 16 million people in the world, and it touches every one of us. It hurts every one of us.
Well, and we know Hanukkah celebrations are now seeing an increase in security. Aside from those who are clearly targeted, clearly victimized by this, are you and your organization, because we know you deal in research and metrics and really digging in and getting granular here, are you seeing a common thread in these attacks that you cite?
Well, the common thread is quite clear to us. There was a lot of talk in Australia at the press conference yesterday trying to determine what the motives behind this horrific attack were. And today the conversation is about maybe they need to look at changing their laws. The common thread through all of this is an ongoing effort to target Jews. We've seen this as a result of the rise in anti-Semitism on the far left. We've seen this as the rise of anti-Semitism has taken place on the far right. We've seen the through line here being dangerous rhetoric, calls for violence against the Jewish community, including on social media. The kinds of things being said on social media, outright support for Nazis, calls for violent action that would never be acceptable on Main Street, but on social media, it happens regularly. This is what puts Jewish lives at risk. This is what we need the world to stand up and confront so that we don't have to endure this every month over and over and over again.
Well, and not only Jewish lives, but those who occupy the spaces that Jewish people occupy. I know that my son Wesley went to an early childhood development center at a Jewish community center. We loved that association. I'm thinking of the kids. What are we telling the kids who go to these centers, Jewish or not, about efforts to keep people safe? And are efforts sufficient? And are they enough given this current climate?
I so appreciate that question and the very personal place from which it comes. You know, people who are close to our community, whether actively a part of it, whether friends with, whether connected to our community, have seen what you've seen in preschools, in Jewish preschools all around the country. Parents walk their kids through a whole array of security measures. Sometimes they have to go through a checkpoint when they drive in. Sometimes there's a metal detector. They have to walk past armed guards with their small child. This is the world that we live in, and it's not normal. It just isn't. And that's what we want people to understand. There are 2 billion Christians in the world and 2 billion Muslims in the world and 1 billion Hindus in the world. There are 16 million Jews. We don't want any more care and love and focus than any other group, but we want at least as much. And recognizing that we would never tolerate the kind of regular attacks against a group because of their religion, the way that we seemingly have responded to all of these attacks by saying, this is very sad, let's get some more security, what do we do to prevent the next one? Well, the way we prevent the next one is for the community coming together and saying, you know what, I want to understand the Jewish community a little better. I want to stand with the Jewish community. Nobody should have to endure this. I wouldn't in my community. They shouldn't have to in theirs. Let us stand together against this anti-Semitism, against this hate. That's how we protect everybody.
It's an important conversation to have, as we know that so many people will be grieving what happened, just this most recent episode of violence in Australia at Bondi Beach, because we all need to be a participant in bringing peace on earth. And I thank you for the conversation. These conversations matter. Ted Deutch, thank you so much for joining us on CBS News 24/7. You come back, okay?
Appreciate it.
Thank
Look
you.
forward to it. Thank you so much.